Okay, so I got the idea to do this video because I was talking to someone on here on Instagram, one of my friends, about like coping skills, and because she had posted something about how she's learned like sensory coping skills in terms of like using your, was it sensory things? I'm not good with words and it's late. I'm tired, but I want to like film this because like I was giving her a list of things what helped me, like in terms of like for, let's say, if you're having a panic attack, or if you're, I don't know, like for me, I use these things because I have these things called psychogenic seizures, fugue episodes. What else? I don't know. Dissociation, but like on a very extreme, I can harm myself accidentally. And but like, yeah, so I'm gonna share some things that help me because I think it might help some people, or if it doesn't, whatever. Okay, so sensory. Okay, so bear with me because of my dissociation, like speech and stuff isn't always the best for me, and I've had kind of a long day, but I know that if I don't post this now or film this now, I'm never gonna do it. So yeah, so coping skills, so like sensory things, so like basically using the five senses. What is it? Taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing, right? Yeah. So basically using that for grounding. Grounding, again, this is a very like lay person's view. I'm just speaking from what works for me. I'm not a therapist. I've never worked in the psychology field. I've never studied psychology. This is just like, I've been in therapy in and out since I was like 13. And in like intense therapy trauma stuff for the last 5-ish years. So I've just gained things that have helped me. So going with the five senses. So for me, the things that work the best are going with things like, was it taste, touch, and smell. So those are the five, as I'm holding 3 fingers up, 3 things that I go with. So like, for example, like so for things that I struggle with a lot are, I have like really bad dissociative episodes, but like on the very extreme, like I could accidentally hurt myself kind of thing. So I need very strong kind of grounding skills and stuff, because I know like I've like done CBT and DBT and like other forms of therapy, and like they'll use like, what is it, like change your thought, like what is like one of the things of CBT is catch it, check it, change it. But you can't like, if you're in a really big panic, I don't know what I'm saying, if you're having a panic attack, or if you're having a flashback, or you've noticed you're starting to have a flashback, like you're not going to be able, well, I shouldn't say you're not going to, but the likelihood that you'll be able to say, oh, I'm having a flashback, okay, I'm safe, I'm fine, like that's, your whole system is just like in fight flight mode. There's no time for like thinking this or that, right? So what I do is like, what I like to do is like, I'll carry like I carry this pouch with me everywhere I go. I've been doing this for the last few years, I think. And in here, let's see, I have this like oil blend thing that I made, and I made my own, like I made like this oil blend, and it's a roller ball. Not that you have to make your own thing, but I just find doing things like that are fun, so I made that. And then like that blend, it like reminds me of like a safe time. So like I'll like put it on my wrist before I'm leaving the house, or if I'm starting to have a panic attack, I'll like reach for it, and then I'll put it on, I smell it, and then I can notice like my heart starts slowing down instead of it being racing. Or for me, I have the opposite of like, I have this thing where like this typical anxiety symptoms of like, your heart is racing, or like you're going into flight mode basically, or your fight or flight is like activated. So your heart is racing, and like I don't know the full science behind this, but just it's like it almost feels like my body's getting ready to like run. Like that's the only way I can describe it. And then it's like but for me, the other thing is like I will freeze. So I notice my heart starts slowing. I don't know if my heart actually starts slowing down, but it feels like my heart is slowing down and stuff. So so I use that. And also like, so using scents. So for smell, yeah, so using scents, that helps a lot. Yeah, so using scents helps me quite a bit. Like I've noticed that is something that helps a lot. Like let's say, so for me, like because I have sexual trauma in the past, like I have like a deep fear, like I'm terrified of that happening again. So basically that's where my anxiety stems from, is like if I leave the house, that will happen again. It's not rational, obviously, but like that's what PTSD is. It's my brain's way of trying to prevent that from happening again. So I guess it is rational then. But because of that, so like what I'll do is sometimes before I leave the house, like I have perfumes or body sprays that friends or family have gifted, and like there's certain people who like I associate, like I think they're assertive and they're like safe people to me. Like when I say safe, I mean they're people who have like validated my emotions, or I've noticed that they I don't know, they just like care about me and they like don't invalidate my feelings. Or there are people who are like really strong. So like my sister-in-law had gave me this one perfume, and so like because I associate her with someone who's like assertive and kind, when I spray that, I'm like, all right, if I go out, I can defend myself. I know this. And then that scent association helps me to remind myself that I am safe. Yeah, so like you can, if you choose a scent that, let's say, if that you associate with a good experience, like let's say you wore a perfume when you were a perfume or a body spray when you were roommates with a good friend of yours or something, and you have a lot of association to that might help. Or if you, let's say, a loved one gave you a body spray, a lotion, an oil blend thing, like what I've done is like I've bought those like little bottles. Like I carry this oil blend, but I also have like bought those little like spray bottles that you can carry in your purse, those mini travel ones, and I'll like fill that with whatever perfume or whatever, and that way I can carry it with me. And when I'm having a panic attack, I'll like, or starting to have a flashback and I notice I'm starting to dissociate, I will step away. I'll like, go to the bathroom, or if I'm in, let's say, because this happens to me a lot when I'm in a store. So like I will spray it on my wrist and I'll smell it. And then, it helps. Or even like before I leave the house, I'll spray that as like a confidence boost. It's like a way to like bring my nervous system down before. It's like a prep. Like right now I know if I have to leave the house, I know I'm going to dissociate. It's like there's no two ways around it. So knowing that, it's like if you, I don't know, you like, your head hurts when you're out in the sun, so you wear sunglasses and protective gear, right? You wear a hat. It's kind of like that.